Hi, this is Tori with RGB Halo Kits. Today we are going to be installing our 2015 to 2023 Dodge Charger Flow Nova LED taillights. Tools used for this install include an impactor ratchet, T15, T20, and T25 Torx bits, an 8mm and 10mm socket, pry tools, flush cuts, and zip ties. To begin, remove the trunk floor like shown. Using the Torx bit, remove these hooks on either side of the trunk. Pop the plastic trim off by pulling forward and up. Using your pry tool, remove these 10 clips holding the fender portion of the trunk liner in. When pulling the trunk liner out of the way, please be sure not to pull too far as the trunk light wire is not very long. Unplug the light to allow more space. Unplug the factory wiring harness from the taillight and remove these two 8mm nuts. Carefully pop the taillight out like shown. It is easiest to fit the wires through the body if you cut off the zip ties bundling them together for transit. Feed the wires through the body and align the pegs through the holes to reinstall the taillight. Screw the 8mm nuts back on and plug the factory harness back in. Remove the trunk handle by unscrewing these two Torx screws. Using your pry tool, remove these 5 clips holding the trunk lid liner in and pop the liner out like shown. Please ensure you gently tuck the trunk release through as to not pull on it harshly. Unplug the middle section of the taillight from the factory wiring harness. Remove these 8mm nuts holding the taillight on and remove it from the trunk lid. Next, you will need to transfer over the trunk release button. Pull back on the red clip release and unplug it. Remove the foam pads to pull the wire out of the channel. Then, using your Torx bit, unscrew the button from the housing and reinstall in your Flow taillight using the foam pads to keep the wires in the channel and plug it in. Like before, it is easiest to fit the wires through the lid if you cut off the zip ties bundling them together for transit. Feed the wires through the hole and line up the pegs to reinstall the 8 nuts. It is best to do alternating sides when tightening them to feed the taillight on straight. For clean wire management, we recommend running the wires with the trunk hinge. To do this, you will need to use the pry tool to remove the 3 clips holding the plastic on. When plugging the middle section into the outer section, it is very important to pay attention to the color coding. When done properly, you will have 4 wires that run to each side. One M6, which is the round connector with red, one M6 connector with green, and 2 JST, which are the square connectors with the corresponding color of that side. In this case, we have the JST connector with yellow and JST connector with black going to this driver's side outer taillight. Feed the wires through the trunk lid like shown and zip tie them to the hinge, ensuring they will not impede movement. Reinstall the plastic cover over the hinge by replacing the 3 clips. Plug the JST connections from the middle section into their corresponding color-coded connector from the outer section and connect extension wires to the M6 connectors. Run the M6 wires from both the middle section and outer section across the trunk towards the battery. Tightly bundle the JST wires, leaving enough slack to reach from the hinge to the taillight without blocking the trunk liner from reinstalling properly. Plug the trunk light back in and reinstall the trunk liner on this driver's side. Repeat the steps of the outer taillight install for the passenger side. When reinstalling the trunk lid liner, ensure the trunk release is passed through the hole and that the edges of the liner are tucked under the plastic cover on the hinges. Once snapped back in place, replace the 5 clips and screw the trunk handle back on. Plug in the middle section of the taillight to the outer section using the color coding. In this case, the yellow and white JST plug into each other and the black and white JST plug into each other. Wire manage like before to be able to reinstall the trunk liner. To wire the controller, you will first want to connect the black ground wire to the factory ground shown here by removing the 10mm nut, placing our terminal ring on the bolt, and reinstalling the nut. Connect the red power wire to the power post in the fuse box using those same steps. Once wired, plug the M6 connectors into the controller and reinstall the trunk floor.